Hi everyone, and welcome to the Cook with Janie kitchen today. I'm having a bit of fun this week doing lots of baking, and it has been very well received amongst friends, neighbors, a friend who is actually ill and incapacitated right now. Really enjoyed the Guinness chocolate cake, and so we've been having a lot of fun sharing what we have been making, which is lovely. And so glad to see you coming on. Hi Caroline, all the way from Australia, welcome. It's so nice to have people joining me and watching what's going on. This week is baking week in the Cook with Janie kitchen, as I said, and a friend of mine, a new friend of mine, actually, Mary Finn, who is a wonderful artist, actually sent me an old cookbook of hers, and it's called Raise the Roof, which I thought was rather clever because it was a cookbook put together by her local community to raise funds for their local church roof repair. And I actually flicked through the book and chose which recipe I would like to make. And it's called lemon pudding, which is what I'm making today. It's a really lovely light pudding, and I was delighted when I found out actually it had been contributed by Mary Finn, which is fabulous. So yes, here we are with the lemon pudding today, and I'll show you what the ingredients are, and then we'll get ahead and start making it. So lemon pudding here, really simple ingredients. We've got sugar, lemon, which we're going to use the peel, the zest, and the juice. We've got some butter, some flour, gluten-free flour today, some lemon juice from the lemons, egg yolks, and egg whites. Really super simple and easy. This is a beautiful recipe. Very light and not too sweet, which is probably why we like it, because we like things not too sweet. But of course, you can make it sweeter if you wish. Hi Ellen, nice to see your name popping up again. So what we're going to start with today, because we're not using the cookie dough, as you can see I have it on the screen, I can just slide across. I put it there because it has beautiful lemons and oranges on it, and I thought it suited today beautifully. What we're going to start with today is we're going to make the batter part of this lemon pudding. And the first thing I'm going to do is weigh in my sugar, which is 100 grams. So let's just weigh this in. And the Thermomix TM6 counts up grams one at a time, which is great. Oh, 102, that will do beautifully. And then I'm going to take my lemon. Now you'll notice on my ingredients tea towel here, I've actually got 2 lemons. They're really small. And because I'm using the skin, I just wanted to make sure that I had enough there. And I need 30 grams of juice, or if you like your lemon pudding really sort of zingy in flavor, quite lemony, then you can actually use the juice from the 2 lemons, maybe 40 grams of lemon juice. Today I'm using 30. Oh my gosh, it smells incredible. So that incredible smell from the organic rind of my lemon is going to go into the sugar now. And I'm just going to grind that together. So say goodbye to the scales and back to the home screen. I'm going to do just 5 seconds at speed 10. If you have one of the older models of Thermomix, you may find it takes a bit longer. But like we talked about yesterday, listen to your Thermomix and you'll hear when it's even and probably well done, so to speak. So here we go, speed 10. So I'm just going to check now. Sometimes one of the peelings gets up against the side of the Thermomix bowl. Oh my gosh, it's so good, it smells wonderful. And I can actually see one peeling loose in there. So I'm actually going to scrape down and do it again for another few seconds. And that will just finish it off. And then you have a gorgeous lemon sugar. You can do this with any citrus fruit, or you can do it with lavender, dried lavender flowers, or dried rosemary needles, and you get beautiful fragrant sugars for your baking. So here we go, just another few seconds, and I'll set it for 3 seconds, and speed 10 again. So there we are. You can press the silver button, or you can actually just touch the screen anywhere. and that means that you're perfectly fine to stop the song because it's told you that it's ready. And there is your absolutely gorgeous lemon sugar. Oh, here comes my lighting pointing man. Thank you, John, that's wonderful. And this is pale yellow. It smells incredibly beautiful, and we're ready to go with the rest of our ingredients now. So I've got some flour, just 60 grams of flour. So here we go. This is gluten-free flour today. $60, that'll do. And I've got 30 grams of juice from the lemons. So let's just pour this in. I did that earlier because I've made one that's in the oven baking now for you. So, and then we've got our butter, which is 60 grams of butter. So that just goes in. 57, that's close enough. And this is actually going to make the custardy mixture and the sponge that sits on top of the custard. And it's a wonderful, easy recipe. So with your lemons, you would cut them in half and you can squeeze them into a bowl usually, because if you squeeze them directly into your Thermomix, you can actually use the tip of your Thermomix blade in the lemon half to squeeze the juice out. And then you can pick the pips out before you add the juice to your Thermomix bowl, before you weigh it in. So the next thing that I'm going to add is my egg yolks, and I've saved one egg to show you. It's really important when you're going to use egg whites and whisk them in a recipe. Hi Mary, I'm delighted that you've come on today to see your own recipe in the Thermomix. So that's great. So I've got 2 egg yolks here. I've got another large egg. I've got my little egg separator. You can do it back and forth between the 2 shells if you like, or if you have an egg separator, so you could do it like that quite easily. And I always do just one at a time. And the reason for that is that if any of the egg yolk gets into your white, it'll probably stop you, actually almost definitely will stop you being able to whisk those egg whites into frothiness. So let's just get that out of the way. We'll pop that there. So now I have my 3rd egg white. I'm just going to pop it in my jar. So if I add one at a time to the container where I collect my egg whites, no risk of fat from the egg yolk coming through. So now I'm just adding those beautiful egg yolks in. And here we go. I've changed your recipe slightly, Mary. I'm sure you're not quite surprised. And here we go. We're just going to mix this. And the sugar is up the sides of the bowl, so I'm actually going to scrape down, and I need to add the milk as well. The Thermomix spatula is shaped perfectly for getting around the edge of the bowl really easily. So here we are with the milk. I'm going to add 440 or 450 grams of milk. And here we go. It's going in beautifully. Oh, and you might hear a little beep beep. Oh, 419. That is the pudding coming out of the oven. So 445, that'll do nicely. That's close enough. Is it light golden in color?
It's looking amazing.
Oh my gosh. Here it goes. Oh, perfect, John. Just pop it here.
Okay, hang
on. Here, you can show it. But maybe you can show it in a moment. That's it. Beautiful. Okay. So what I've got now is I've got my egg yolk mixture, and I'm just going to, oh, hello from Mallorca. Hi, Anne. That's great to have you coming on, and I'm sure that there have been lots of other people coming on. If I haven't said hello to you personally, that's because I'm busy cooking, and thank you all for coming on. It's wonderful. And do tell other people about these videos, because I do try and help you learn lots and lots of things about how to do real food made very easy with your Thermomix. So I'm just going to set the timer now for 20 seconds. No temperature required, and we're going to speed 5 to mix up that cake batter. Rightio. So that's our cake batter mixed up nicely. I can't really show it to you because it's actually very liquidy, but it's just a liquidy cake batter with all that milk in it, because of course it's making its own custard at the same time too. So I'm just going to set that to one side and get out my second Thermomix bowl. And if you have been, if you're in the UK or Ireland, there is a wonderful special offer right now that you can get a second Thermomix bowl for only £50 or €1 equivalent. And I'm just going to put the butterfly whisk into here now, and I'm going to whisk up the egg whites because that's going to give our lightness and make the sponge cake rise above the custardy part. So here goes my 3 egg whites, and they're going on, and I'm just going to set that for 3 minutes. Believe it or not, perfectly whisked egg whites in this 3 minutes, and just speed 3. 1, 2, 3. So the butterfly whisk is maximum speed 4, and it's important that you know that. It's actually written on the butterfly whisk for the TM5 and TM6 models, and it still applies to the previous models too. So what I'm doing here is I'm actually going to whisk up these egg whites. You can hear the sound changing already. They're getting lighter and frothier. And I think John has something to show you here.
Tell me if that works.
Ah, there's the beautiful
Can you see that?
lemon delicious pudding. Let me just bring the light over. Yay, wow, that is amazing. So straight out of the oven. I'm going to be serving that in a moment. You'll be delighted to know. I know John will be delighted to know.
You bet.
So when you're actually using eggs and you want to whisk up the egg whites, you must have clean hands. So I washed my hands immediately before I started this video. If you have any trace of grease on your hands, like you've just handled the butter packet and you've got a little bit of grease on your fingers, and then you crack the egg open, the egg white might be contaminated by the fat, and then it won't whisk. And that happened to me in a class, a master class that I did with Michelin star chef Chris Horridge many years ago. And my colleague Jane didn't realize that having done the measuring of the butter and then going on to cracking the eggs, she actually had some grease on her fingers, and that went into the egg whites. And we had multiple fails of whisking egg whites until we realized that that could be a possibility, and we washed our hands and started again and got perfect egg whites. So you do need to have a perfectly squeaky clean bowl and butterfly whisk before you start whisking your egg whites, and your hands should be clean too. So there we are, we're only a few seconds away, and I'll show you these egg whites and then how to mix it together, and then we will serve up the beautiful lemon pudding. In Australia, and I know that there's a few people from Australia on here, it's called Lemon Delicious. Super, super easy. Now, today when we were setting up, I wanted to get out my lemon tea towel because I'm a collector of tea towels. I love them. And John wouldn't let me do that, but actually, I'm just going to drape my lemons there so you have a little bit of beautiful lemon background behind me. Now I'm standing in front of it. Oh well. John's pointing at the lemon pudding and saying, wow. So 3, 2, 1, and we're at perfectly whisked egg whites. And I haven't looked at them, but I think I can hear that they're perfect. And you do get used to listening to your Thermomix. And there we are with perfectly whisked egg whites. So what I'm going to do, actually, egg whites and egg yolk mixtures are one of the best reasons to have 2 bowls for your Thermomix. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring this over here, and I'm going to add 1/4 of the egg whites.
Jenny, I'm going to ask you a question.
Yes.
You said they're perfectly whisked.
Yes.
So, for somebody who's never whisked egg whites...
Like you.
Yeah. So, how do you conclude they're perfectly whisked?
Okay, well, if you hold them upside down over your head, they don't fall out of the bowl. Don't do it for too long, just in case. But that's how you actually technically decide whether they're perfectly done or not.
So I'd have a white head then?
You might do if you didn't know. You are right, John. So that's about a quarter or a third of my egg whites. I'm going to put the butterfly whisk into the egg yolk mixture now, and I'm just going to mix that up for 10 seconds on speed 2. Not a lot of people know that you can actually add your egg whites to a cake mixture like this, and it's a great tip. It's really easy, and it saves you doing all of the gentle, careful folding. So what we've done now is we've just mixed it up. John, can you hold the camera? Can you lift it so it could look in here? Maybe? No?
No, I don't want to reposition it.
All right.
But I could get the mirror. Hang on.
Oh yeah, okay, super. So what you can see in the Thermomix bowl now.
Tell me if this is in the right position, John.
Okay, yep. A little bit more. Perfect, yes. So you can see that that's just foamy on top. It's quite liquidy underneath because of all that milk, but it seems to be mixing in beautifully. And I've got the rest of the egg whites here, and I'm just going to add them in. All right. So John, do you want to just hold that mirror up again? I'm making you work today.
Yep.
Making him work for his dessert.
Over the pudding.
Hold it over here.
Yep.
Yes. So there we are over the top here. Lovely. So you can see that the egg whites are just sitting on top of that previously loosened, or the technical term is slackening the mixture. So now I'm just going to set 30 seconds. And speed 2 again. And that's just going to whisk in those egg whites lightly, beautifully, and easily without any problem at all. And then that mixture would be ready to pour into my greased dish. And let me just move this out of the way here. While that's doing its 30 seconds. And I'll just pull my serving dish over so you can see what we're going to be doing here. And I've got a lovely dish here. So John, I'll just get you to show that. So what I've got here is I've actually got some big lumps of egg white left. So I'm going to do another 10 seconds and then it would be ready to pour into my greased oven-proof baking dish. You can see I've done an oval one today. It's about a nice size. So here we are, another 10 seconds. So maybe I'll change the recipe to say 40 seconds. So what I've got here is just a nice pretty bowl, and I'm going to dip in here to my pudding and lift it up. And you can see that there's a lovely custardy set area. I've got a husband who loves lemon custard, and so this will actually be a beautiful dessert for him.
Can you show what's on the spoon? Show the spoon to the camera, Jenny.
Okay, let me just show you here with another spoonful.
There we go. Yeah.
So there we are there. Don't want to lift it too far forward, but I could if I hold it over the bowl like that. You can see that it's actually a beautifully set custard underneath. And here we go with a wonderful dessert. And to top it all off, I'm going to put on some beautiful thick Jersey cream. And that will be a beautiful dessert. Very light when it comes to sugar, but lovely and nourishing when it comes to the eggs and the milk. So if you have any old recipe books that you love or that you'd like to translate into other recipes, feel free to get in touch and ask me about that. And also, it is great fun to do that, to translate your old family favorites into Thermomix recipes. Next week, I'll be doing summer salads. So I'll be making a mayonnaise, really super easy, and a couple of fabulous family favorite summer salads. And really looking forward to doing that for you next week. So thank you very much everyone for coming on. Were there any questions today, John?
I didn't. I was too busy holding a mirror, but I don't think there were.
Okay, if there are any questions, then I will actually get back to you on the comments in a little while. Thanks very much, everyone. And remember, real food made easy. You can do it in your Thermomix for super easy. Radio. Thanks very much, everyone. See you next week. Bye.